so we're back at it today. We're going to get this body mounted. That is the plan. So, I'll talk to you a little bit about what I'm going to do. The body needs to be raised up 1.5 inches of the mounts. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these wings that are coming off this frame here, right next to the swing arm mount. So we're going to cut those off. We're going to put a little 1.5 inches or a little riser or whatever, and get the mount, or build a new mount, basically a plate for the body to sit on and for the floorboard. So I guess that's what we're doing. We're doing floorboard and body mount, and then off of that we're going to build the shock mount for the rear, so then we can have a real roller that's sitting on its under its own weight. And then after that we're going to try and get this extended if I have a right piece of tubing to do that. But yeah, so that's the plan for today. We're going to go ahead and get into it, and hopefully we can get some of that done or all of that done. Alright, so I'm working with what I got here. Okay, these were just pieces from the original frame, gave me the perfect spacing that I needed, and then I had this, what is this? This is not even 1 inch. Anyways, whatever this is, I had this tubing laying around, so we built this. This is our base of our floorboard. I still have to do like a brace from here, maybe down to here. That would probably be smart, or maybe straight up to here. I don't know. But, so I want to brace this up. And then, but the next thing I'm going to do is I'm working on mounting this shock. So I'm going to go in and design a couple of tabs to fit on here, and then I actually have a couple of tabs already designed that will fit around. I don't have tubing to match this little whatever it is, so we'll just use a piece of 1 inch in there. We'll brace it across there, little tiny piece, and then we'll build the tabs off of there, and that will give us suspension mount. So that's next. Let's get the suspension mounted, and then we'll continue with this whole floorboard setup. You know, I'm contemplating what I'm going to do up here, because I want to close this in so the tires aren't just throwing stuff into the body. And right now, basically, we just have a big giant hole here. So somehow we're going to fill this in, and we're going to make it nice. But we're just keeping going here, and yeah, that's next. Shock mounts. Alright guys, so we just cut out some shock tabs, and we're getting better at this. Like, I was able to design them without too much extra assistance, like looking around to see, you know, what buttons I need to click and whatnot. So I'm getting better at that part. This part, Oh, I chucked those first ones. So the first two that I cut are in the garbage because I had the consumables, the tip, and the electrode were on there from when I cut apart the frame here, and I really boogered them up when I did that. And I thought to myself, well, how bad could it be, you know? How bad could the cut be after that? Well, the first two that I cut out were pretty terrible. So I swapped the consumables out, made sure that the settings were correct according to the machine for the 1/8 inch thick steel that we used to cut these, and then they came out much better. I think I need to work on something. The inside holes are not that great, so I'm not sure if I need to fix the overlap or the pierce delay, or something needs to be adjusted for that. The outside profile of these is great. I'm having this little guy here, so we need to do like more overlap or something, or maybe it's machine settings. I don't know. I'm still a novice with this thing, but we are getting better. We're cutting things out, and as I progress, I'll try to learn more, and we'll get faster with this and get better parts out of it. And we got more to cut for this project for sure. So this is just the start. I'm going to get these cleaned up, and then we're going to get that shock mocked up in place, and we'll get that thing tacked in, and then we'll have a real roller on our hands. Alright, so we got everything, we got a roller. We got the shock mount finally tacked in, and I think it's going to work out good. I first tacked it, and I didn't account for any kind of squat, so when it squatted, it was going to be like Carolina squat, you know. So I didn't want that. So that's just with a little bit of pressure, it levels out. Once we get everything on here, it should level out, and then we can add more preload to the shock if we need to. But I think that's pretty good. Everything's just tacked in right now. The motor's just sitting here, but one step closer to having a working little power wheel here for my son. So next step is going to be lengthening that steering shaft if we have the right tube to do that. And then we got to do some more work here on this floorboard, of course. So this is the steering stem. I cut it in half, and now I'm working on extending it. I haven't even measured how much yet, but that was the bushing. The bushing that was in, that was on here, was in the other tube. So we got that set in there, and then this one should slide into there. Yeah. So we should be able to slide this thing in from the top. Oh, but you know what? That's not going to work, is it? I have to get that back out and then put it on here. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get it figured out. I might have to take that back out though, which is gonna be. Alright, so quick update here. We've welded in our floorboard. I've got to grind some of these off, the ones where the body goes over it, because I want it to be land smoothly on there. Some of this is going to get trimmed. I don't know where yet. The tires actually clear it. It's hard to see, but there's a gap there. The tires that are coming, I think, are slightly taller than this. I think they're like a 14. They're like a metric size, so they might not clear that, but anyways, it's gonna get trimmed anyways, like something through here. No big deal. We got this little lip here that the back body goes over that, and we'll be able to like put some sort of mounting hardware on that. We're working on an idea for mounting on the front. We still have work to do on this steering. I actually didn't make my shaft quite long enough. It only comes up flush with here, so I might actually, once I get the steering wheel in and see how that fits, I might either lengthen that internal shaft or just take and cut like a 1/4 inch off of this. Would be the easier option. So I'll have to get the shaft back out and then knock this guy back out, which is a pain to get that sucker out. And get a 1/4 inch off of there. That'll have it stick up. I'll have to make a flange for the steering wheel. Steering wheel's supposed to be here today. I think the next thing I'm going to work on is getting this brake mounted. Where is my brake? Let's grab the brake. So I got to go in and design a bracket, or I mean, I could just modify what we got here, which I might just do because it's going to take me a lot less time. But at the same time, I don't know. That corner hits it perfectly, and if it just can't curved around and give me some room to weld, that would actually work perfectly. So I got to make a decision on what I'm going to do there, and we're just going to keep moving along. There's still a ton more to do, but we're making progress. Gas and brake pedals are coming up. Roll bar, I've already mentioned before. You know, there's still quite a bit to do, but we're gonna keep on trucking. Let's get this brake situation figured out, and then we'll move on from there. Alright, good morning everybody. We are back at it out here. I've been working on a couple of things. One is this steering wheel. We finally got the steering wheel in the mail. It's a little guy. It's like little less than 10 inches, like 9 3/4. One of the smaller ones I could find. The only ones smaller that I found were like the ones from like a Hot Rod magazine, or like from a Hot Rod, and they were like 8 inches or something. They're real small, but they also have like a really deep offset. So I went with this one. It's like from a go-kart, pretty sure. But this bolt pattern on here interferes with our steering stem, because our steering stem is like a pretty thick, and it's got that, you know, it's pretty, it's got a big diameter, and it's got that bushing and stuff in it. So if we were to use a more traditional kind of steering, we could have gotten away with using this bolt pattern, but we didn't. So we used the steering that we had. So I ended up, my first idea was, okay, I got 3 holes here. I need to re-drill it because these bolts will run into that steering stem. So I'll re-drill it a little bit wider, and I'll do 4 for some reason. I actually can't even explain why I decided that 4 would be better than 3. But then after I made this piece, it turned out really nice. Used the plasma table and then cleaned it up and drilled and tapped it. I realized that there's no possible combination where you turn this and you have, you know, a clean area to actually re-drill this for the 4-hole bolt pattern. So scrap that idea. We went with a slightly larger one and 3 bolts again. And basically all I'm doing here, I did use the plasma table again, and it turned out pretty good. This time actually even better than that one. Changed some settings and stuff, so I'm starting to get the hang of that. But anyways, drilled and tapped this for 5/16, 18. And then basically all we got to do, you basically just clock it so it's the opposite of what this is. So we're going to have a hole here, and a hole here. So that should work out perfectly. What I'm doing right now is I just marked this, and we're going to drill through this, and then we're going to go ahead and get this welded up onto our stem, our steering stem, and then we'll have a steering wheel, and our steering will be complete at that point. So let's get on that. We're going to drill this sucker out. Alright, I think that's enough for today. We're going to pick this up on the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that like button, hit the subscribe, smash the bell if you want to get notified of future videos coming out from DJ's Hot Rod and Fab. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.